y'all, welcome back to episode 5 of the So Wavy podcast. I am your host, Denny. And before we get into the podcast today, make sure you are subscribed and following the podcast on whatever platform you're listening to me on. And also, if you are a visual person and you want to see the podcast episodes, make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, which is Denny Price TV. And you'll find the episodes on there every week as well as other content on that channel. So go do that. Like I told y'all last episode, I do have an Instagram and TikTok and stuff coming soon. So that'll be up sooner or later. But let's get into it, y'all, because I have a lot that I want to get into and I don't have a lot of time. So the first thing that I want to talk about is Jess Hilarious being announced as the new host of The Breakfast Club. So if y'all don't know what The Breakfast Club is, it's basically a radio show that has been going on, I would say, like maybe 15 plus years now. I used to be really big into watching their episodes like every week, every day, when they have like different celebrities up there. They have some of the most iconic interviews. But y'all know Angela Yee, which was one of the founding, like, original members of the Breakfast Club. She recently left last year sometime, or maybe it was in 2022. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she officially left sometime in 2023, and she got her own radio show. So since she left, they've been trying to find a new host, and they've been trying out different hosts throughout last year, and they finally found a new host. But the thing is, everybody thought it was going to be Jess because I think she was on there the most, maybe. And then she also had like a party and announced that she was going to be the new host of The Breakfast Club. But then it was like crickets. It was nothing. She wasn't on there. Like, she wasn't answering a question. She wasn't doing nothing. Like, Charlamagne and DJ Envy wasn't saying nothing. They wasn't like, they was acting like they didn't know what was going on. And everybody was kind of like speculating what happened. They was like, did she announce too early? Like, was it contract issues? Some people thought it was a skit, which it did end up being a skit. I sorta. But they had this whole promo video and they announced that she was the new third permanent member of the Breakfast Club. So she basically taking Angelique's spot. And in like the clip, y'all can go check it out on their Instagram and their social media. It was basically like different podcasts talking about the situation, and it zoomed in and it was her sitting in the chair, and it was DJ Envy and Charlamagne beside her. So everybody was like, some people were like happy, some people don't think she's a good fit, and everybody else was confused because they're like, what? So some people think it was a actual skit. Some people think that it was contract issues or something, and then they flipped it like it was a skit. To me, I was like, I don't really, I'm not like the most avid watcher of Breakfast Club like I used to be, so I kind of catch stuff here and there. But I don't really watch like that anymore. But I was just like, I didn't have a reaction when they announced it because all like the hoopla and the back and forth, and then I think she had said something. She was talking about them on her Instagram story like a couple of days before it was announced, and to me, like, I don't know, it just didn't move me. Like I said, I don't watch it anymore, and it was kind of like, I've heard somebody else say this, and I don't want to be like to sound mean. It was like a bit corny in a way because I'm here for certain. I think certain instances and certain things skits work in your favor and work for marketing, and it was a good, in a sense, a good marketing thing. Like, it was good for marketing, so I get it on that front. But some people are like me where they just thought it was a bit like corny, and it was like, okay, and like random. So it was just weird. I don't know, y'all. It was like the way I think it's not the announcement, like them announcing that she was the host, the new host. But it was like the way that it was done, how it was promoted, like the back and forth between the two. Like, I just didn't think it was necessary, honestly. And I feel like they could have marketed this a different way and had a different rollout, but I guess that's the one they want to go with. Even if it was like, I don't know if it was on purpose that they did like this or whatever the case may be. But that's all I have to say on that. Congrats to Jess though. Like I said, I don't really watch it as much as I used to back in the day, but I do catch some of the stuff here and there. So we'll see how she fares, and how we'll see how, things go. So shout out to them. Next we're gonna get into some Billboard stuff. So me personally, I'm not like the biggest person when it comes to like numbers and Billboard numbers and stuff. I do think that they are important in certain conversations depending on what your angle is and what you're getting at. But I just want to talk about some of the songs that are on the billboards right now and like my thoughts on all of them. So as y'all know, the whole Meg and Nicki drama was last week. So that took over last week. If y'all haven't seen my bonus episode breaking down that and talking about that in my perspective, you can go check that out. The visual obviously is gonna be on Dating Price TV, and then the audio is on my podcast profile. So go check that out. But basically, her song "Hits" went number one on Billboard, which they had been predicting that it was gonna go number one, like pretty much the whole week. At first it was number 5, I believe, and then as the days went on, it was predicted number one. So she obviously went number one, and people are kind of mixed feelings about this. Obviously, her fans and Nicki haters are like, "Yay, Meg, yeah, yeah, yeah," and then everybody else is just like, okay, okay. I would be a fool to sit here and say that her beef, her, her beef with Nicki did not play a part in this number one because I feel like it did. Obviously, she's gonna have her set of fans and her people that's gonna stream her music and yada yada. But this particular song, and because the way that Nicki responded, I feel like that played a lot into it because when people don't like Nicki, they're gonna jump on whatever, like the person that don't like her, they're gonna jump on that wagon. They always do that. It's documented history. So she did get that number one. Definitely beefing, or I'm gonna use that word loosely, y'all. Beefing with Nicki did help her, in that sense, but nonetheless, she got that number one, so she's number one on the Billboard this week. Then we have Flo Milli. She is number 18 on the charge with her song "Never Lose Me." I really like Flo Milli. I like some of her songs, but I really like "Never Lose Me," so that is definitely well deserved. And that one has been growing because I remember it was like a couple weeks ago. It was on like the bubbling under, and then it got up to the Billboard Hot 100. Then it was like number 40 or something, number 80. Then it went up to 40. So now she's all the way up at 18. So shout out to Flo Milli. I really like that song. But people are like, why that song out of all the songs got on the Billboard? Um, and I mean, I guess y'all, music is one of those things, y'all. You don't never know what song is gonna do what for you and how it's gonna work for you. But I know she has other songs that are better. But I really like that song. So shout out to Flo Milli. So it's definitely well deserved. I've heard the song played on TikTok and just other stuff, and people really, really like this song. So yeah. So then Money Long song Made for Me is number 28. Y'all know that song is like all over TikTok. And what I think what really helped her with this song in particular is her performance at the Soul Train Awards. Like after she did that performance, I've seen like hundreds of videos of people like mimicking her at the Soul Train Awards, not the BET Awards, the Soul Train Awards. And yeah, like it's been blowing up on TikTok. And I know like TikTok just took all the music down, which we'll get to that in a little bit too. Um, but yeah, so she is number 28 on the Billboard Hot 100 this week. And then when we get to Miss Nicki Minaj, y'all, so her song that she put out, her diss, but she said it's not a diss song, but her diss to Megan Bigfoot is number 23 on the Billboard Hot 100. Which phenomenal because for you to just do that and people just don't like it and think a lot of people just say that it's not good and however they view it, and for you not to have a video or nothing and really not even a rollout, and it was literally not even like a full week for real. Other than you number 23, that just shows her power and the power of her fans. She also has two other songs on the Billboard Hot 100, which is Everybody, which is at 26, and FCCU, which is at number 40, which those are her two songs from her album that have gained a lot of popularity, and that people like the most. Me personally, from Pink Friday 2, my favorite song is Barbie Dangerous, I think. And yeah, I would say Barbie Dangerous and Pink Birthday are like my favorites. Um, I think everybody's just like a TikTok kid. It's like for the younger kids and stuff, but it's really still a good song. And I do like FTCU. So shout out to Nicki for having 3 songs on the Billboard Hot 100. And at that, you're in the top 50. So shout out to Nicki. Then we have Ice Spice at number 37 on the Billboard Hot 100. People did not like her song. Thank you the part, whatever. And yeah, I liked it. It was a cute little bop. Like I told y'all in the last episode, like when I'm looking for me or listening to music, I'm not always listening to every artist for the most lyrical content. Sometimes I want something that's just fun and just, catchy, just song. So in my brain, I know how to separate people into different categories. And Ice Spice is definitely not the most lyrical rapper out there and not the most nothing, but she makes the most catchiest songs. And for her to be a newer artist and for her to consistently chart on Billboard Hot 100, whether you like her or not, like that just shows her impact. And shout out to her. It's a cute little song. Like people, it's really catchy. It's on TikTok and people are playing it. Don't let these people fool y'all. Some of these people are really critical when it comes to music sometimes, and I get that because you can share your opinion on music if you don't like something, but I do think some people just every time they hear a song they think they want to hear the most lyrical content or the most, some stuff just be fun, and some artists are not those types of artists. And Ice Spice is not that type of artist. Ice Spice will give you a cute little song, a cute little bop, and it's working for her. Everybody can't do that. And I think some people be thinking that these charting on Billboard, they think charting on Billboard is easy. They think making these songs are easy to a certain extent and they can make them, which I don't personally see like that, because do y'all know how hard it is to make a catchy song for real, for real? Like, be for real. Like Ice Spice is in her own lane and she makes her music for her lane, but it's working for her. So 37 is pretty good to me. So shout out to Ice Spice. So that's kind of all the Billboard stuff I want to hit on, just to kind of like highlight these artists, um, all these female artists that are on the Billboard Hot 100. I think Tyler's Water is still on there, I believe. Victoria Monet's On My Mama is still on there. A lot of 21 Savage's songs from his album are on there. But yeah, these are just the ones I wanted to kind of hit and touch on. And speaking of TikTok, I don't know if y'all heard, but UMG, so Universal Music Group, has removed all of their music from TikTok. So many creators that make reactions, make dance videos, and all this stuff, the sounds have been snatched from their videos, and it's really unfortunate. But I want to see how this is going to change things, because a lot of artists depend on TikTok to help push their songs. And no, so I would say that some artists TikTok is their livelihood. Some artists use TikTok to kind of push their songs and kind of, push it out there. So I do think this is gonna hurt some artists. It's not gonna hurt some other artists. Like I think the bigger names of this that are affected is like Nicki, Drake. I would say Rihanna. I think Taylor Swift. I believe. Maybe not. Yeah, Taylor Swift. I think Selena Gomez. Like it's a ton of people that are affected by this, and I'm gonna follow this story to kind of see. But from what I've heard and the info that I've gathered, it was like a money thing, and TikTok wasn't willing to pay UMG what they wanted, so they said we're taking the music off. So that's what they did. I believe some of the stuff you can still, the songs they're still on like Instagram and stuff, so you can use it for Instagram Reels, but not on TikTok. And y'all, when I mean snatch the music off, I've went past so many videos with no sound because of it. And some people is making their own remixes on there. But I do think it's a great way for newer artists and independent artists to get their music out there at this particular moment. I don't know how long this is gonna last. But I do feel like TikTok is gonna take a hit just a little bit. But I think TikTok will be able to pivot a bit. Um but I wanna see if UMG comes around at some point to TikTok. Um we'll see, y'all. We'll see. Y'all know this is business, big business. So money is involved. So once they get that right, maybe we'll see the music back on TikTok. But right now, you cannot access it on TikTok. So if you're an independent artist, if you're a newer artist, like if you're like a just not a well known artist, you push your music out on there, girl. Push it out. Cause you never know. These people are making these TikTok dances and all that different stuff. So dude, I wonder if this is gonna affect TikTok and make people leave the app, or unless TikTok introduces something newer and better. But I don't know. We'll see. So that story is still developing. I would just really want to see what happens then. What happens after that? So going on to the big chunk of this podcast, which is the Grammys, y'all. So the Grammys was on Sunday, and y'all, let me tell y'all, so many conversations around the Grammys this year, so much debate and all that. So I'm gonna get into all that, try to touch on everything as best as I can for y'all. So the first thing I want to start with is the drama from the Grammys. So the first drama piece I want to talk about is the Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice thing. So basically, y'all know, if you never watched the Grammys, or if you're not on like Twitter/X or whatever, they live tweet like who wins these awards, and more than half of the awards are given out before the main show. So you don't get to see like them actually getting the awards or anything. You just see from like them announcing it on their Twitters and stuff. So they announced that Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj won rap. I think it was a rap performance, I believe, of the year, or something like that. So they had a tweet, and it was like, congratulations to at Nicki Minaj, at Ice Spice, for their win for Barbie World. Y'all know Barbie World was a really big song last year, especially because it was a part of one of the biggest movies of last year, which was the Barbie movie. And I really like the song. Like, usually I'm not a big like soundtrack, like music type of person. Like, I don't never really like songs from movie soundtracks a bunch. But this is definitely one of my favorites from a movie soundtrack. My other favorite is like the one from the Black Panther soundtrack with Kendrick Lamar and SZA. Is it All of the Stars? All of the Lights? Something like that. I really like that one. And then I like from the Creed movie, I like that Art Lennox song that's on there. Shea Butter Baby. That's what it's called. I think it's on her album too. But anyway, that was on that soundtrack. But like I'm saying, I don't really tend to like too much songs from soundtracks, or if I do like a song, like the replay value for me is not high. But with Barbie World, I really liked that song. It was very well done. It was on the charts. It was at the top 5. Like it did what it was supposed to do, and it was a very, very, very just well put together good song. Liked it through and through. So they announced that she won. Then they come back a couple seconds later. It was like, actually, she didn't win. Killer Mike won for scientists and engineers. And everybody was up in an uproar. Some people feel like the Grammys did it on purpose to embarrass her. Some people feel like that the Grammys, like, they were going to give it to her, but maybe her drama with Ice Spice, and not Ice Spice, her drama with Megan Thee Stallion played a part in it. Some people like feel like Rock Nation is behind it. I don't know. It was really kind of messed up though. And people were saying like the Grammys never makes mistakes like this. Hardly. And it was like conveniently the only mistake that they made of the night was with Nicki Minaj, because if y'all don't know, allegedly, gotta say allegedly here. Allegedly, Nicki Minaj is blackballed from the Grammys because of a performance that she did back in like 2012, maybe. I believe the year that Whitney Houston died. I believe, was that 2012, something like that. Anyway, she performed, and then like the producer of the show, and then just from there, she's been blackballed. I think Nicki has like maybe 12 Grammy nominations, and she's never won a single one. But she's not the only artist that's never won a Grammy. But it's just insane. So everybody was hyped up because like, wow, Nicki got her first Grammy, and some people was like, if Nicki does win with Ice Spice, it's like of course, that has to be your first Grammy when she deserved it so many other times. And cause y'all know how some people look at Ice Spice. I like Ice Spice personally, so a win is a win. But that was kind of one of the biggest debates and dramas from the Grammys because people just spill away, and I just felt bad because it's like you do all that work and you're such a great artist, and personal stuff aside, because if you can't pick and choose, I feel like you can't pick and choose when you're going to bring people's personal lives into debates like this, because if that's the case, we got to bring everybody's personal life into it. And it's so many people that's doing stuff behind closed doors that we have no idea about. So none of these celebrities are perfect. None of them are on a high pedestal. None of these people are angels. Some people just be doing bad stuff. And even if people don't do bad stuff, people, like I always tell y'all, everybody's morals and values and stuff is not the same. So people are gonna be doing stuff that you don't necessarily like or that don't align with you. But I'm focusing on the music aspect here, and not the personal, because I'm not doing all that because I don't know the people. But musically, she definitely should have gotten one. She's like the biggest female rapper ever. So that was just like that whole debate. And then Killer Mike got arrested after he didn't won Grammys, 3 Grammys at the Grammys. He literally swept all the rap categories, which we'll talk about that in a minute. But he got arrested, and apparently it was a misdemeanor or something. Apparently he got into an argument with like a security or ballet something at the Grammys or something, and the man was like he pushed him or something. I don't know. The people arrested him at the Grammy ceremony, y'all. Like, it's so embarrassing. Like, why would you arrest a man like that? Like, you couldn't wait till after. Y'all know where he was at. You couldn't wait till after. They said, no, we're gonna get him today, right now. So they got him. And I was like, wait a minute. What? What's going on here? What is going on here? So he gets arrested. The miss happened with the tweet. And then Jayz gets up there. He wins like the Impact Award. That is the award that's named after Dr. Dre that he got last year, I believe, or the year before. But he got that award. He goes up there with Blue Ivy, and y'all cannot believe how fast Blue Ivy has grown up and like how many years it's been. Like, I remember when Beyonce announced her pregnancy on, was it the VMAs? She announced her pregnancy. So crazy. But he was up there with her, and he basically was like, people don't really know exactly who he was talking about, but people are assuming that he was talking about like Beyonce and Taylor Swift. So he basically was saying, in a nutshell, that how can somebody have so many Grammys, the most ever, and never won album of the year? Because if y'all don't know, Beyonce has never won album of the year. She has, I think, 33 Grammys in total. Never won album of the year ever. And Taylor Swift has won album of the year 4 times. And it was just that's just a whole nother debate in itself. But then he went on to say, like, people are nominating categories they shouldn't and all this stuff. And then he was like, when I get nervous, I start telling the truth. And then it was just like this whole thing. And some people was like, now you having a Kanye moment. Cause y'all remember it back in I want to say 2011, but it might be 2010 when Taylor Swift won that award over Beyonce, and Kanye got up there and was like, I'm gonna let you finish Taylor. But Beyonce had one of the best albums of the year or something like that. And y'all know Beyonce's face was like, what? So when Jay-Z was up there, Beyonce was just like, you could tell on her face that she was like, okay. Okay. And y'all, to me, Beyonce looked over it. She looked like she didn't want to be there. Like, it was something off about her. Like, she just didn't want to be there. You could even tell by her outfit. Obviously, she looked amazing and stuff, but she wasn't even dressed up for real. Like, and after he got his award, they literally left. Like, they weren't feeling it. They weren't feeling it, child. They weren't feeling it. But yeah, so his speech went viral, and everybody was like, "Well, who is he talking about? Who is he talking about?" And people are like applauding him. People are saying if Kanye did the same thing, then y'all call him crazy. If Nicki did the same thing, y'all call him crazy. So it was just like a debate on like all of that stuff, which is so crazy to me, y'all. But that's kind of like the drama from the Grammys. Oh, and then another thing people was talking about is when Taylor Swift won Album of the Year, she did not hug Celine Dion, which presented her Album of the Year award. And then when she was giving her speech and stuff, she announced she had a new album coming out, in the celebrities' faces, they was just like, "Oh, great." Nobody was like happy or amused or nothing. Everybody was just like, you could tell everybody was just like, "Oh, Taylor, like, girl, let us shine, please. Let us have our moment." Jesus, because if she releases an album and she wins album of the year again, the people is gonna lose it. They're gonna lose it, but their faces. But those kind of like the Grammys drama, or whatever. So now we're gonna go into the Grammy winners list. So I obviously did not do every category. I just did the ones that were most intriguing to me. So I'm gonna tell you guys who won the award, who else was nominated in that category, and do I feel like the person deserved it, and who would I pick? So for record of the year, Miley Cyrus got she won that with from her song Flowers, and Victoria Monet and SZA were also nominated in this category. Me personally, between Miley, Victoria, and SZA, um, I feel like it could have. Let me know, but no, I would say between Miley and SZA, I would have been satisfied with either one. If Victoria Monet won, I would have been like, okay. But for record of the year, the impact, I would definitely say Miley's song. And y'all know SZA been on the charts for like 2 years at this point. But I think it was justified. Miley got this. And she also, I think she won another Grammy that, yeah, I don't know which one it was that she won. But this was her first, like her first Grammy. So, you know, a lot of your faves don't have Grammys. Like, I'm still over here stuck that Katy Perry don't have Grammys. Like, the Katy Perry. I love Katy Perry, y'all. And it's just shocking to me that she does not have any Grammys. Like Katy Perry. Just think about Katy Perry's era and the songs that she put out in her albums. That's crazy to me. I love you, Katy. Shout out to you. Cause you a real one. I like your music and very consistent. Like Katy was like in my childhood growing up. Like I love Katy Perry. Um I think one of my favorite songs by Katy Perry is California Girls. And TGIF. I just like that album in particular. I don't know what this album's called, right? But yeah. Anyway, so I think Miley definitely deserved record of the year. So shout out to Miley. So for album of the year, obviously Taylor Swift won with Midnight. So SZA and Janelle Monáe were nominated in this category as well. Um, I'm not the biggest Taylor Swift fan ever, like at all. Actually, I don't listen to her music at all anymore. When Taylor Swift first came out, I liked her songs. You know, she had a couple little bops here. I'm okay, but I'm not a Taylor Swift fan. Like that. I don't really listen to her like that. But I know she's very impactful, and she does have a very strong fan base. Some will say they don't think that she is that talented compared to her counterparts. Um, whatever y'all think. But um I do think that SZA should have got it because SZA's album has literally Snooze has been on the Billboard Hot 100, like it's in the top 10 right now, I believe, for the longest time. And yeah, like Taylor Swift is like a award darling, so she's more than likely any category that she's nominated in, she wins for the most part. I believe there's a couple times where she obviously did not win, but when she nominated, y'all, if you an artist in the category, you might as well just I don't know, cause more than likely she's gonna win. So I definitely would have given that one to SZA personally, and I like Janelle Monáe, but I didn't really listen to her new album, but I'm gonna go back and listen to that. But I like Janelle Monáe. I remember when she like first came out and stuff, and she was like wearing her little tuxedos, and like my favorite song by her is Tightrope. One of my favorites. I love that song. And there's another song of hers I like. I don't know, but I would definitely have given it to SZA. Um, for Best New Artist, Victoria Monet won that one, and Coco Jones and Ice Spice were nominated in this category as well. So for this one, for me, I really do like Victoria Monet, and I like Coco Jones, and I like Ice Spice as well. So honestly, as long as any three of them won, I'm like, okay. I really thought Ice Spice was gonna win this one, and I know that y'all are like, y'all don't think Ice Spice is as talented and all that good stuff. That is just your opinion. I get where you're coming from. I get why you say such, compared to everybody else she's nominated with, but her impact and what she was able to accomplish in a year's time, and being on the Billboard Hot 100 so many times as a new artist, and working with Nicki Minaj, working with Taylor Swift, like having the brand deals, having the impact that she did is very admirable. And it's like, okay, so her impact and what she did was there. Um, I like Coco Jones and I like Victoria Monet, and I know technically they are both new artists, but they both have been in the entertainment industry for a very long time. I know Coco Jones was on Disney, and she released music before, but her whole Disney situation was just a mess, and it was just a lot with that. And she kind of disappeared for a while, but she came back. And I remember when she was on the Terrell show. That's what really I think helped her get back to everybody. Like, oh, Coco Jones, Coco Jones. I used to watch her and Terrell, in their show, and they would be cooking, and I really like Coco Jones. So like I said, I would have been okay with any of them winning, and I can make an argument for each of them why they should win. But Victoria Monet is more experienced. This is her first time being like a artist in the spotlight. She's wrote for like Ariana Grande, and she's been in the music industry for a very long time. But I'm glad she's getting her shine and stuff. I did like her album Jaguar 2. A few of the songs on there I really liked. So yeah, shout out to her. But I really thought they was gonna give it to Ice Spice. Okay, I really did, y'all. I didn't know, but like I said, any of these artists I would have been fine with. Um, okay, so shout out to Victoria. So for the best pop duo slash group performance, you have SZA with Phoebe Bridgers, The Ghost in the Machine. It's SZA. Shout out to her. I don't know who else was nominated in that category. For best R&B performance, Coco Jones got that with ICU, and SZA, Victoria Monet, Robert Glasper, and Chris Brown were all nominated in that category. And well deserved for Coco. Like I said, honestly, I don't listen to Robert Glasper much. I just know that he releases music and he's won a few Grammys, because I believe he won last year for something. But everybody else, I love them, listen to them as well. So I'm cool with this. She deserved it. Shout out to Coco, y'all. Um, yeah. So for best traditional R&B performance, you have PJ Morton and Susan Carroll with Good Morning, and Victoria Monet, SZA, Keon Dixon, and Babyface were all nominated in this category. I have not heard this song by PJ Morton, but I know who PJ Morton is. He's a very talented person, just across the board. Um, so shout out to him. I mean, Victoria Monet and SZA they won, so it's really not. I'm not like, oh, they should have got it. They should have got it because they've won a couple already. So I think that was, like I said, I haven't heard that PJ Morton song, but I know PJ Morton is very talented, and I know some of his music, his gospel stuff, and so he it was a good choice. Shout out to PJ. For best R&B songs is the one that was Snooze, and Victoria Monet, Coco Jones, Halle Bailey, and Robert Glasper were nominated in this category. Well deserved. Like I told y'all, Snooze is still on the Billboard Hot 100. It was a really, really big song from my album. And y'all, I really was not a big SZA fan before, and I just went and listened to her album, SOS, a few months ago, and I'm like, I like her a lot. Like, I mean, I liked her and stuff, and I know some of her songs, but like really getting into her album, I was like, yeah, yeah, she deserved it. So shout out to her for that. Definitely well deserved. For best progressive R&B album, SZA won with SOS, and Janelle Monáe, Terrence Martin, and James Fauntleroy. I don't know his name. Say his name right. Diddy and Black were also nominated in that category, but SZA won. Well deserved. She had one of the biggest albums. So definitely think she deserved that. I don't know who Terrence Martin and James Fauntleroy is, but I'm gonna check them out. Like, this has given me some new artists and some new albums and songs to check out as well that I didn't really know of, because I don't know if I talked about this, but I'm I used to not be the biggest R&B person. Like, I listen to R&B obviously, and I know a lot of R&B songs, but that was not my genre of choice. But now I'm getting more into it, like, heavily. So I listen to a lot more R&B than I used to. So yeah, definitely well deserved. For best R&B album, Victoria Monet won with Jaguar 2, and Summer Walker, Emily King, Coco Jones, and Babyface were nominated in this category. For this one, it's well deserved. Like I said, I really liked her album, but Summer Walker has never won a Grammy, and I really would want her to, because even though you might not like Summer Walker's personality sometimes or the things that she does or says, she is a very, very, very talented person, and she definitely deserves a Grammy. Like, the amount of music and the quality of the music that she puts out is like amazing, and her career has just been so great thus far. So, like, I really want her to win one, but I can see why Victoria Monet won this one. She's also a very talented individual as well, so I can see that. So, best rap performance. So for this category, Killer Mike won, and he won for his song "Science and Engineers" with Andre 3000, Future, and Aaron Allen Kane. And in this category, Coi Leray, Drake, 21 Savage, Black Thought, Baby Keem, and Kendrick Lamar were nominated. In this category. So for me, and this has been a debate that I've seen online as well. So I obviously, me being a music person and being more tapped in than most people, and especially most people my age, I know who Killer Mike is. I've heard a couple of his songs and songs he's featured on. I know he's been a rapper for a very long time, and he's one of, one of those people that is immensely he's talented. Like, he's talented. He's never been mainstream to an extent. Like, his nothing from his album charted or anything like that. I don't believe, from when I looked it up. So with this one, um, I was shocked a little bit, to be honest with ya, because I I don't know. Now, I knew that Coi Leray probably was not gonna win with her song "Players." I did think that Drake and 21 Savage had a chance because their album was pretty big. I mean, it's Drake, y'all. It's Drake. And then Black Thought, I know who Black Thought is. I don't listen to a lot of Black Thought music, but I know he's really talented as well. He's been around for a while as well. Not taking that away from him. But I figured maybe not. And then Baby Keem and Kendrick Lamar. I mean, maybe. So for this particular award, I guess I could see how you would go with Killer Mike and Andre 3000. I listened to a little bit of this song, and when you listen to super lyrical rappers, you have to have a certain I don't want to say like a certain, like, you have to have a certain level of, not intelligence, but a certain level. Your musical ear has to be a little bit different, because you're not gonna get the super turn up stuff. Like, you're not gonna get that. You're gonna get some lyrical content speaking on real stuff, and maybe sometimes it's lyrical, but it's not real stuff. It's just play. But you have to be it's a certain type of person to listen to the Killer Mikes, the Black Thoughts. Like, they're not the most mainstream of artists, and when I say mainstream, I mean people from the masses be bumping their music. And especially with this generation, a lot of people on TikTok were like, "Who is Killer Mike? Who is this? Who is this? Who is this?" I'm like, all right, you ain't gotta do that to the man. Don't do him like that, because he one of them. He can rap. But I would, if I had to choose for my personal preference, I would say Drake and 21 Savage, even though, like, I'm not the biggest 21 Savage fan, honestly. And I mean, obviously I like Drake and stuff. Y'all see he's on my wall back here. I don't think it was the best song that they've ever made, but I know it was one that was really popular. So, yeah. So I guess that would be my choice. But shout out to him, because this is his first set of Grammys. For him to be in the industry for so long and getting them Grammys, like, shout out to him. Shout out to him. Best melodic rap performance goes to Little Durk featuring J. Cole, All My Life, and SZA, Drake, 21 Savage, Doja Cat, Burna Boy were nominated in this category. I think this one was well deserved from the songs amongst, the thing. Like I said, SZA won a bunch this Grammy. I think she was nominated for 9. And then Drake and 21 Savage, Doja Cat, Burna Boy. I would have given it. I would have given it to Lil Durk and J. Cole personally. Um, I'm not a big Doja Cat fan. I never really have been like a huge Doja Cat fan. I like some of her songs here and there, but I think this was for her song Attention. No, I think it was Paint the Town Red, I believe. It was a big song, but Lil Durk and J. Cole's song, I would have picked that one too for sure. So for best rap song, Killer Mike won this one, as well for Scientists Engineers, and he was up against Drake, 21 Savage, with their song Rich Flex, Little Uzi, Just Wanna Rock, Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, Bobby World, and Doja Cat Attention. So this is the one that they tweeted out beforehand. They had Nicki and Ice Spice had won, and they came back to Killer Mike. So for me, I would not have I personally, if I was on the committee and I choose, I wouldn't have chosen Killer Mike's song for best rap song. I definitely would have given it to Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj for Bobby World. Like I said, Bobby World was trending everywhere. You heard it on TikTok, big on TikTok, charted for a very long, like weeks, and the impact that it had. Little Uzi song, which was a great song, and I'm a Little Uzi fan. I like Little Uzi. I just don't think for him, if he won a Grammy, I wouldn't want him to win from this song, cause it's like TikToky and it's just no. 21 Savage and Drake, like I said, this is not their best song, I don't believe, but it was really popular and stuff. But I would have chosen for this category, I would have chosen Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj. I feel like they should have won it and they deserved it. And that's not taking nothing from Killer Mike, because he's already won best rap performance, and we're gonna go into what he won again. But yeah, this one I'm a little iffy about, because I'm still trying to figure out what the Grammys criteria is, and what is their criteria, like am I saying right? Criteria, and what they are trying to, like, what are they picking? Like, are you going by just talent? Are you going by personal relationships? Are you going by charts? Like, it's confusing to me, because sometimes they get it right and I'm like, perfect, of course, and then sometimes I'm like, what, who? So it's very confusing, and that's why a lot of people just don't mess with the Grammys, because it's just a confusing just thing. But I definitely feel like that they deserve that award, in my opinion, and that's who I would have given it to. Now we move on to best rap album. Killer Mike won this one with his album Michael. Travis Scott was nominated in this. Nas was nominated in this for King Disease. Travis Scott for Utopia. Metro Boomin for Heroes and Villains, and Drake and 21 Savage for Her Loss. For this one, I can see how Killer Mike would have won, because this is talking about your rap album, like your entire body of work. And as we know, last year music was not given. It was not doing the best. It just wasn't. It wasn't hitting, doing the best. So I could definitely see him winning this one in particular. I think this was well deserved. All of his awards are well deserved, but if I had to choose, I would definitely picked him. Travis Scott, I didn't listen to Utopia. I listened to a couple of songs, but I'm not like a huge Travis Scott fan. I'm more of like, if I hear a Travis Scott song I like, I'm listening to it and add to my playlist type of thing, but I'm not like a huge Travis Scott person. So, but from his fans and from what I've gathered, people said this is not his best album. Nas King Disease, which Nas is one of those rappers, a legend, deserves more Grammys than he has. He has one. He just won in 2020. So I told y'all in, I think, episode 1 or 2 or something, I was like, I think I knew that Nas was not gonna win this time, because I was like, they just gave him one in 2020, and I was like, they're not gonna give him another one. Not I don't. They wasn't gonna give him another one. I know it's as sad as that sounds. Like, well, why? It's just the way that they move and what I've seen. I'm like, they're not gonna give it to him. No, I figured that he wasn't gonna win, but I definitely was not Well, no, I think I said in that video that Killer Mike probably would win. Um, Drake and 21 Savage. Not, like I said, this is not their best work. Their best, absolute best. Metro Boomin, really talented, but yeah, I think this one's well deserved. Like I said, so yeah. So for best immersive audio album, Alicia Keys won with her album The Diary of Alicia Keys. I believe it was a re-release from her album Diary of Alicia Keys that she released 20 years ago, I believe. So I think she re-released it for like the 20th anniversary, which I really like this album. I love the song Diary, my favorite song. My aunt used to play that song, like that used to be her favorite song. I listen to that song so much. But shout out to Alicia Keys. I don't know if that's her first Grammy or not. But shout out to her. So for best African music performance, we have Tyler with Water. Some people feel a way about that. They think that what's his name, DeVito should have won for Unavailable. But Tyler won. I'm actually surprised she won this fast and out the gate, to be honest with you. But I like her. So hey. For best jazz performance, Samara Joy. I just found out who she was last year because she won a Grammy last year. So listen, I'm all for the Black Queens winning the Grammy. So shout out to her. For best gospel performance, we have Kirk Franklin, All Things. Y'all know Kirk always racks up at the Grammys. We have best contemporary Christian music performance, that song. It's Your Power with Lecrae and Tasha Cobbs. And I think it's like other people in the choir. Shout out to Lecrae and Tasha Cobbs. Best contemporary Christian music album, shout out is Lecrae with Church Clothes 4. So shout out to Lecrae. I like Lecrae. Listen to Lecrae. I have not listened to this album, but I listened to Lecrae. So my favorite song by Lecrae is probably what's it called? I'm Turned. I'm Turned. It's an old song, y'all, but yes, shout out to him. I think that was on one of the Church Clothes albums. Maybe the second, first. I don't know. I'll look it up. For best gospel album, Ty Tribbett won for All Things New, live in Orlando. Shout out to Time, gospel legends here. And best comedy album, Dave Chappelle, What's in a Name. So shout out to them. Y'all, they be having so many random categories like best comedy album. I think Michelle Obama won for like best audio book or something like that. Something along those lines. But those were just basically the categories that I was most interested in that I want to share. If you want to see the full list of like nominees for each one and more of the categories, you definitely can go over to the Grammy website and they'll tell you all of that good stuff. But overall, I will say about this year's Grammys, I'm happy that SZA, Coco, Victoria, Tyler, like all these black women got their Grammys. Well deserved, very, very talented. A couple of the categories I would be like, like the album of the year one. Definitely feel like SZA deserved it. The best rap was it the best rap song. I definitely think that Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice should have won that one personally. But I think that's like all the ones that I would like change, honestly. Everything else I feel like was just, due. I'm interested to see what music people put out this year and who's gonna be nominated for Grammys next year because people is coming, the people is putting out music, the people is releasing. So I'm here for it. So what do y'all think about the Grammys? Do y'all think that the people that won the awards should have gotten the awards? Who would you switch out and change? Who do you think should have won? Who do you think shouldn't have won? Who do you think should never have been nominated? Who do you think should have been nominated? Let me know below. Y'all, I can go on like a whole tangent about how I feel about the Grammys, but I'm gonna leave it at this. Excuse me, and I'm gonna end the episode. I'm just confused as how the Grammys pick their people and pick the winners and pick the nominees because sometimes I feel like they get it right. They're like chef's kiss. Like giving SZA these awards, she earned them. Yes. But then you get to some categories and I'm just like, what? Like I said with the Killer Mike thing, like I said, he's very talented. He's a rapper. He's OG, like, but for best rap song, like, are we going by charts? Are we going by numbers? Are we going by impact? Are we going about how nice they are to you or how they like what, and if like there's like no set, we don't know the criteria really, and we probably will never know. But that's like my only problem with the Grammys, because sometimes they can get it right and sometimes they can get it wrong. Like when they gave Macklemore the Grammy over Kendrick Lamar that year. That, y'all, everybody, people are still talking about that and still upset about that today. I am. I remember that. Like, wow, really? Do I have that album on here? I don't think I have it. No, I don't have it. But Kendrick Lamar is like, I told you I'm not like a huge super fan of nobody for real. And I'm really not like a super crazy fan. But Kendrick Lamar is definitely one of my favorite artists ever. So like y'all snub him. But you know what? Don't even worry about it. Cause Kendrick definitely racked up last year and he got some Grammys under his belt. So shout out to him. But that's all I have for this episode, y'all. I didn't want to stay too long. Like I said, I can go on a whole tangent about who should have won and what I think about the Grammys. But I want to hear from y'all. So if you are on Spotify, you can answer the question that I asked on the Spotify app and platform. If you're on YouTube, comment below, what you think about the Grammys. Do you think How do you feel about the Grammys? Do you think Grammys hold weight for artists? Like, just your overall thoughts of the Grammys. What do you think about the Grammys this year? And all that good stuff. So that's all I have for this episode, y'all. I will see y'all, and y'all will hear me next week when we get into some more topics. But like always, make sure you are subscribed and following the podcast on your preferred podcast platform, and make sure you are subscribed to my YouTube channel, Denny Price TV, where you can get the visual for this episode as well as other fun entertainment music is content. So yeah, thank you guys, and I will see y'all next week.